Okay, so basically, you were dealing with a situation where someone tried to get mad at you or gaslight you because you didn't want to be next to a person that is a bully, like your bully, your abuser, the narcissist that picks on you. Basically, someone tried to gaslight you because you didn't want to be around this person. And what I'm getting is like you guys were at some type of gathering. Maybe you guys were like at a restaurant and you're sitting at a table, or maybe you all are just in some room and you have to like find a chair and sit next and find a chair to sit down on, and you have to sit next to people. So basically it got to a point where like there weren't many chairs left, there weren't many seats left for you to sit at, and there was one empty seat next to this person, next to this narcissist here, next to this abuser, next to this bully here. And basically you saw that seat and you saw that empty seat, but you didn't see the other empty seats that were around you. So you come in, you sit down next to this narcissist, and you're thinking in your mind, I don't want to sit next to this person. I really don't want to sit next to them. I don't want to be bothered with them. I don't want them to try to torment me or torture me while I'm sitting next to them. I don't want to be in close proximity to this person because who knows what they're going to do. I don't want them chastising me. I don't want them antagonizing me. I don't want to deal with their tirades. So let me move somewhere else. And basically you saw another seat somewhere else away from this person, and then you got up and went to sit at the other went to sit at the other seat. So basically an authority figure saw this, and they thought that you kind of like slighted the narcissist a little bit. It's like you sat down next to them at first and then you got up and moved. They thought that what you did was kind of wrong. They thought it was bogus. They thought that what you did was just sliding them. Like, you didn't have to do that to them. You could have just easily sat there. You could have, like, they basically tried to gaslight you and say, well, you could have just sat there next to them. You could have just put your pride aside, put your feelings aside, put your emotions aside, and sit next to that person, because now they're offended that you got up and moved away from them. Now they're upset. Now they're bent out of shape. Who gives a fuck about how they feel? Honestly, that's on the narcissist if they're bent out of shape about it, because it's like a person is not entitled to sit next to you. You're not entitled to sit next to somebody. And if you don't want to sit next to somebody, you do not have to. And basically this authority figure tried to blame you for, tried to basically not blame you, shame you. They tried to shame you for what you did because they thought that what you did was kind of rude. But it really wasn't even rude. It was just you protecting your peace, you setting a boundary, you not wanting to deal with them. And basically, this was a lesson for the narcissist where it's like, if they weren't so mean to you, you would have wanted to sit next to them. You would have actually sat next to them and not had a problem with it. But because you didn't want to deal with what they were possibly could have done, you got up and walked away. You didn't want to sit next to your abuser. You didn't want to sit next to your bully. It's like basically this authority figure tries to shame you because you didn't want to sit next to your bully. Who wants to sit next to their bully? You are in close proximity to them. They can start picking on you and bullying you from sitting right next to you. That's why you have to get up and move, because you're like, I don't trust them. I don't trust what they're going to do with me sitting next to them. I don't trust what they're going to say, so I'm going to get up and move out of the way. And this authority figure shamed you for it and gaslit you and said that you were wrong when really you weren't wrong. You just didn't want to be bothered with this abuser. So the reality of the situation is people have like a double standard for when it comes to you. Like, they want you to put your feelings aside, they want you to always put your feelings and emotions aside and accommodate somebody else, but you're the one that doesn't get to be accommodated. That's not fair. You deserve to be accommodated too. You deserve to have your boundaries set, to have your boundaries not crossed, and to have your emotions accommodated. And basically what this authority figure said is, they were like, I understand that person is mean. I understand that person is nasty and they're cold and they're cruel, but you could have just sucked it up and basically verbatim, you could have just sucked it up and just sat there next to them because getting up and moving made you look bad. And you're like, are you projecting your own feelings on how you would have felt if you were in my shoes because you thought that I looked bad? Maybe you thought you would have looked bad if you would have done it. You don't really give a fuck how it made you look, because you're like, I'd rather look like a rude person and protect my peace than sit up here and people please somebody, not accommodate myself, and sit up here and sit next to this abuser just because somebody's feelings are going to get hurt. So it's basically like you were protecting your feelings, because you're like, I'm not about to sit next to this person to spare their feelings when they won't spare mine. Period. Point blank. That's the whole thing about it. They basically wanted you to be this people pleaser. They wanted you to be this pushover. They wanted you to be this doormat that people just walk all over. They wanted to control you, basically. They wanted you to have to put up with that. And the reality is, when you're dealing with narcissistic people, a lot of times the narcissist is protected more than the victims are. A lot of times people will accommodate the narcissist because they don't want the narcissist to start ranting off in their tirades and stuff like that. They don't want to set the narcissist off, so they please the narcissist to not set the narcissist off. But you're not here to please anybody. You're not here to please this narcissist here. You weren't here to please them. You did what you had to do. So yeah, that's basically what happened with that situation. That lady did gaslight you. That person did gaslight you because they were mad that you got up when you were not entitled to sit there anyway. You can sit wherever you want to sit, and you don't have to sit next to an abuser, especially you have to sit next to a narcissist. So yeah.